Hello, everybody. How the heck are you doing? My name is Jason.
I'm Caden.
We just can't get this right. We try, guys. We're going to continue on. My name is Jason.
My name is Caden.
I'm Eli.
I'm Jaden.
And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel. And we are blessed that we are able to do this. And we are able to spend a little bit of time with you guys. And we are spending time and putting you guys into our lives and showing you guys a little bit of our endeavors and our encounters and the things that are going on in our lives. Because we and our entire family are complete Torah keepers, and we are always going to be Torah keepers all the way to the bitter end. It doesn't matter what happens. We will never accept anything but the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator. And when you read the Bible in Revelations, having the Torah and the faith in the Mashiach is what has Hasatan completely attacking us, and we're in his crosshairs. And I talked to a lot of you guys, and you say that you're feeling it, and that you can feel the powers that be that attack you guys, and we need to always stay in prayer, constant prayer, pray without ceasing. We need to wield the power that our Creator has given to us. So I told you guys a little bit about our cows, right, and the sifting that we had where we lost. Let me know if I knew this right. Name them off.
Ruth, Bambi,
Rebecca,
Maddie,
Kimbo.
And during that time, we got some new babies, and we thought we had the end of the dying. And so this week we lost
Jacob and Judah.
And we have another cow that's sick. And so we have never seen this before, where they just end up just dying. They get really weak. We can't figure it out. Tell me a little bit about this, guys. Tell me about the life of the cows and everything.
It definitely feels like cursings because one moment they look good, they're drinking their milk, they're looking healthy, they're going on a grass, they're going on a grain, and the next second you look back and they're sick and they can't stand up and they're starting to get skinny. It's an endless cycle, because one's good, the next one's sick, one's good, the next one's sick, and it just feels like you're just definitely running the rat race with this whole thing.
Yeah, and that was Caden talking, and I have another story about Caden that I didn't know until tonight, is that when we lost the cow today, Judah, he actually went over and he gave a big hug to the dead corpse of the cow and said his goodbyes, which is really sad. And that's something that, we love cows, we love our animals, and we want to make sure that, they rest in peace and they have the best life that they can possibly have. And so we gave everything we had to keep these things alive, and they keep dying on us. But what we do, and Eli, fill us in a little bit on the the whole aspect of losing the cows, us burying the cows day after day after day. Eli, what's going on, buddy?
So it's just like sad.
So Eli's a little shy. He's a little gun shy, and so he's over there with kind of like miming stuff. I'm not exactly sure. Jaden, give me some of the breakdown on the life of us burying the cows and what it's like these days.
It's when they die, you gotta have. Sometimes we have holes ready, because when they get sick, you gotta have a hole ready so you can go bury them immediately. So it's not hard to get them in the hole and stuff like that.
Is this a heartbreaker? Is this breaking your guys' hearts?
Yeah, it hurts when you lose something you spend caring, you spend with it. You spend hours with them, cleaning them up, making sure they're good and healthy, and then they die, and you get to know them, you get to love them. They start becoming friendly. They're not running away from you anymore. And it's just sad to lose them.
Yeah, and that's 8 cows inside of about 40 days or less. So that is the way it is, and we as a family will fight back. We will never bow. We will never. If Hasatan wants to kill our entire herd, everything that we have, and take our lives, then so be it. We will never bow. We'll never bend. And the laws of our Creator are good today, tomorrow, forever, and this family is what we're built on. And so that takes us to our main message today, and where we want to punch back at Hasatan, because there are not a tremendous amount of guides on the Sabbath, right? We know just from Exodus 20, the fourth verse, the fourth commandment, is that we have a little bit about obeying the Sabbath. In the 50th chapter, the final chapter of Jubilees, it gives us a lot more than we actually know from any other place, any other singular place. And so we want to start in Jubilees 50 and verse 1, and the first 4 or 5 verses are just kind of fill in. I like to do this stuff in completion. I hate when people, take stuff out of context. So you'll read one verse, you have no idea what in the world it's talking about here. So verse 1, and after this Torah, I made known to you the days of the Shabbats in the desert of Sinai, which is between Elim and Sinai. And I told you of the Shabbats of the land on Mount Sinai, and I told you of the Jubilee years and the Shabbats of years. But the year thereof have I not told you till ye enter the land which ye are to possess. And the land also shall guard its Shabbats while they dwell upon it, and they shall know the Jubilee year. All right, gentlemen, what does this mean right here? What are the land's Shabbats?
It's every 50 years, or every 7. Every 7 years you give the land a rest from work. You wouldn't kill it. You wouldn't, whatever, you wouldn't get your fruit. You wouldn't harvest.
Okay, so
you just let it rest.
What do you do on the year before your land is supposed to rest?
So for 6 years, you are supposed to farm your land. You're supposed to get all your crops in. On the 6th year, you are supposed to basically pull all of your grain in. That's where you're going to eat for the next year. You're going to eat everything that you pulled in from there. And you're not supposed to do any tilling. You're supposed to let the land just sit there and rest. You're supposed to basically give it a full year of Shabbat. Like, you don't do anything. You don't do any work on this land. You live your life and you eat your grain.
Eli, who eats the food on the 7th year? If something happens and comes on the field, who eats the food?
I believe it was the poor, wasn't it?
The widows. Yeah, the
Yeah,
widows and the
poor
poor.
widows and fatherless.
Okay, verse 4. Hey, thanks for speaking up, Eli. Wherefore I have ordained for you the year weeks and the years and the jubilees. There are 49 jubilees from the days of Adam until this day, and 1 week and 2 years, and there are yet 40 years to come for learning the commandments of Yahuwah, until they pass over into the land of Canaan, crossing the Jordan to the west. Okay, what does that mean? There are yet 40 years to come.
So this had to be when they were traveling through the desert.
Right. And
Because Sinai was a little bit after they had just barely got out of Egypt.
who is this? Who's writing this? Or who's talking? Who's speaking this?
This has to be
A messenger or Yah speaking to Moshe, or a messenger speaking from Yah.
I think it's Uriah. It's one of the messengers of Yah. And he's just relating this as Moshe is writing it down. Verse 5. And the Jubilee shall pass by until Yashrael is cleansed from all guilt of fornication and uncleanness and pollution and sin and error, and dwells with confidence in all the land. And there shall be no more a Satan or any evil one, and the land shall be clean from that time forevermore. So this verse right here is interesting, because we see that there are at least 2 entities that are against us, right? Any evil one. So there's probably a handful, probably more than that, probably thousands of evil ones that are after us at all times. They're after our minds, or after the minds of our hearts, of our children. And they're definitely after the children, for sure. And so we know that Satan, and they capitalize Satan because that is a proper name, I suppose, for this fella. Verse 6. And behold, the commandment regarding the Shabbats, I have written them down for you, and all the judgments of its Torah. So that's pretty self-explanatory, right? So he's like basically saying there's a set of guidelines, there's a set of things that we need to do if we want to keep Shabbat. Here we begin. Verse 7. 6 days shall you labor, but on the 7th day is the Shabbat of Yahuwah Elohim. In it ye shall do no manner of work, ye and your sons, and your men servants, and your maidservants, and all your cattle, and the sojourner also who is with you. All right, gentlemen, what does that mean right there? Who wants to take a stab at this?
No one's going to work. You're all supposed to rest that day. You're not supposed to have even your slaves, because back in the day, the Israelite people had foreign slaves. They had people that they made grab water. They had people made hew stones for foraging and things of that nature. None of that was supposed to be done. Everyone was supposed to rest that day. It did not matter if you were Israelite or foreigner. Everyone had to rest.
Right. And what about, we have this story we talked about the other day, people picking up sticks, where obviously if you are and this is one of these things, I don't think this guy was like just accidentally out there picking up sticks.
He knew.
Yeah, he absolutely knew that he should not be picking up sticks. Yeah, he was out there picking up sticks. I think if he was like just accidentally, he's like, oh man, I did not realize that we were not supposed to pick up sticks, he wouldn't have been picking up sticks. But this guy, he actively chose to, which is why they killed him. Verse 8. And the man that does any work on it shall die. Whoever desecrates that day, whoever lies with his woman, or whoever says he will do something on it, that he will set out on a journey thereon in regard to any buying or selling, And whosoever draws water thereon, which he had not prepared for himself on the 6th day, and whosoever takes up any burden to carry it out of his tent or out of his house shall die. Okay, now, first and foremost, who is this talking to?
This is talking to Yisrael.
Who is Yisrael, Eli?
Anyone who wants to follow Yahuwah and his Torah.
How do you know this?
Because the Bible says so. Because when the people came out of Egypt, it wasn't just Israel. The Egyptians came with them, and he says, you can be part of the
Egyptian slaves, other slaves. And there may have been Egyptians as well, maybe not. But there was at least 600,000 to 1 million slaves that were not the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And so let's go over this. So number one, anybody who desecrates that day. This is like anything of personal pleasure that happens on this day. And whoever lies with this woman, that means there is absolutely no sex. You're not to touch or isn't. I know I'm getting the looks over here from these guys. Or whoever says something on it, that he will set out on a journey thereon in regard to any buying or selling. So if you're starting out on any kind of business trip, if you're doing anything of that nature, you are not to be doing this, right? This is a day of complete rest. You don't make plans. You don't plan the next day. You don't, dissect how the week went. This is a time for you to be at rest and in the will of our Creator. So it also says that you're not to take up any burden, to carry it out of his tent or out of his house, and he shall die. What does that mean? What is any burden? Anyone?
I assume like going and taking out food to other people, going out and
no, that is absolutely
or not food, but like to your cows. Like if you had to do extra work, like clean your cows that day. Like,
if you have to clean your cow pen, can you go clean your cow pen?
I would probably say no, you should have done that day before.
Absolutely not. Yeah, you should absolutely not do anything like that. You should not mow your lawn, right? Rob Skiba liked to mow his lawn on Shabbat.
Weird.
It's not good. So you're picking up sticks. Absolutely mowing the lawn is probably going to get you smoted. So here we go. So carrying out anything like that. Now, you said carrying food out to somebody. If you have a person in need, what is the rules of the Torah?
You can help them. You're supposed to do good on the Shabbat. But I was saying more of a work thing. Like you were just going to go bring them the food out of your own will, like you cooked up something and you're just going to bring it to them even though they didn't need it.
Okay, so I think I got what you're saying. So people that did not need it and you went right, yeah, absolutely. We should not do anything of that nature, right? This is a day of rest. Verse 9, ye shall do no work whatsoever on the Shabbat, save what ye have prepared for yourselves on the 6th day. Is everyone listening here? Mm-hmm. Okay, so as to eat and drink and rest and guard the Shabbat from all work on that day, and to bless Yahuwah Elohim, who has given you a day of feast and a holy day and a day of the holy kingdom for all Yisrael, is this day among their days forever. So this is a big 9. This is a chapter. Verse 9 has a lot of stuff right here. What does it say right here? It says that
don't do any work.
Don't do any work. Yeah. So what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to guard the Shabbat from all work, right? All work. There's nothing that you should be doing. Now, I will tell you some funny stories about when we got into Torah, and we did not know the laws of the Torah, and we ended up with a bit of Judaism because we went to this How to Keep Shabbat page, and we ended up taking toilet paper and ripping each piece of toilet paper into individual sheets because we didn't want to do work on the Shabbat. Now, we didn't know that was all like in the oral Torah, right? Stuff. It's actually, I don't even know if that is in the oral Torah, but it is what the Jews do so you don't have to rip toilet paper. But at the end of the day, that is not in the rules. That doesn't say anything about that. And the day is not meant to be torture of that nature. And so we don't do that. We only did that for a couple months. Once we started figuring it out and started reading the Torah more and more, we figured out what we should and we shouldn't do. So he says right here at the end of this, this day is a day of feast and a holy day, right? And it is a feast day because you have cooked all of your meals on Friday, the day before, preparation day. And so your day, when you wake up, your meals should be prepared. You shouldn't have to do anything, right? You're not supposed to prepare anything. All meals are prepared the day before, and you're not supposed to make salads at lunch. You're not supposed to cut things and process things and do things. That's all work. So Verse 10. For great is the honor which Yahuwah has given to Yisrael, that they should eat and drink and be satisfied on this feast day, and rest thereon from all labor which belongs to labor of the children of men, save burning frankincense and bringing oblations and sacrifices before Yahuwah for days and for Shabbats. All right, what does that mean, guys? What does that say?
Don't do what they do, right? Don't eat, don't cook, don't
eat and drink.
Only eat what you have cooked the day before.
Right. Okay. Everybody's paying close attention to this, right, everyone? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And don't burn, don't start like doing like special offerings like frankincense and that. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, actually, this is what you just burned yourself right here, because it says you can thereon from all labor and rest thereon from all labor which belongs to the labor of the children of men, save burning frankincense and bring. I know we have to pay attention when we're doing these videos, folks, and bringing oblations and sacrifice by Yahuwah for days and for Shabbats. And I'm just giving the kids heck because I don't think they're paying attention completely. Verse 11. This work alone shall be done on the Shabbat in the sanctuary of Yahuwah Elohim, that they may atone for Yisrael with sacrifice continually from day to day for a memorial well-pleasing before Yahuwah, and that he may receive them always from day to day according as you have been commanded. Verse 12. We're almost done. For everyone out there who's fallen asleep, too, as well, we're almost done. And every man who does any work thereon, or goes on a journey, or tills his farm, whether in his house or any other place, and whosoever lights a fire, or rides on any beast, or travels by ship on the sea, and whosoever strikes or kills anything, or slaughters a beast, or a bird, or whosoever catches an animal, or a bird, or a fish, or whosoever fasts or makes war on the Shabbats. Wow, that is a mouthful right there. Okay, so we absolutely cannot do any kind of yard work, right? Tilling the farm mowing your yard would go under tilling your farm, right? That's the same thing.
There was no going and driving to someone's house.
Yes, you cannot go into somebody's house. Eli, you light a fire. What does that mean, and how do we deal with that?
So back in the day, for lighting a fire, they would go and gather a ton of sticks, and they would have to do a big preparation to start a fire.
But we do not light our propane stoves.
We still don't do fires.
Right, so we do not light our propane stove. And I've always had a thought about starting cars as well, because you're technically lighting a fire. And so if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty of it, having the combustion of a car and doing this, it is lighting a fire, whether or not, we don't think it's work or not. So we don't go anywhere on Shabbat, so that's not an issue for us. But that's probably one of the reasons we don't go anywhere on Shabbat is I don't want to light a fire. And we're out in the middle of a jungle, so there's really no place to go on Shabbat except right here. So another thing right here, anyone who rides on any beast, you're not to get on a horse.
So let the animals rest.
Yeah, let the animals rest. Travels by ship on the sea. Okay, so if you're in the middle, if you start your journey on that day, you should not be doing what you're doing. I mean, if you're ending your journey and there's absolutely no way around it, that's one thing, but you shouldn't be starting up your journey. Whoever strikes or kills anything, that it goes for what? What does that go for, everyone?
I assume bugs and all sorts of things.
It says a beast or mice.
Don't catch cow and eat meat.
Fish, right? Even fish. We're not to catch fish. Yeah, we're not supposed to kill anything. Like the creations of our Creator are protected, right? That is their day of rest too. Let them do what nature does and go from there.
It's supposed to be a day with you and Yah, and anything other than that would take your mind off of it. He does not want you to do. Like killing a fish, killing a bird, that would take your mind off of Yah.
Plus, you'd probably end up skinning it and things of that nature.
There's a lot of work.
That is work. Verse 13, which is the final one. The man who does any of these things on the Shabbat shall die. So the children of Yisrael shall observe the Shabbats according to the commandments regarding the Shabbats of the land. As it is written in the sapphire stones, which he gave into my hands, that I should write out for you the Torah of the seasons, and the seasons according to the division of their days. Herewith is completed the account of the division of the days. So, my friends, as we are thinking about Shabbat and about keeping this day and about bringing this into our life, it is something that hopefully everybody does. It is the fourth commandment. It is where I believe that Torah keeping begins. Once you have that day with our Creator, then somebody go over kind of how our day goes. What does our day look like?
Well, we wake up, we all have a family prayer as we do. We go around a few times and pray. We will go, then we'll have some breakfast, pre-cooked meals. Then we'll read our Bible. We'll take some naps and sleep. We'll do a lot of resting, and then we'll read our Bibles again. And we'll read sometimes a biblical newsletter, and then we'll eat lunch or dinner at some point, and then it'll all be pre-cooked meals.
Yeah, all crock pot meals. Every one of the dogs are trying to launch. Everything is pre-cooked meals. The other day, Eli, you said that we have eggs and sausage. Can you clarify that for us?
Okay, so what we did is the egg, sausage, salt, and pepper. The sausage, it's not pork sausage, it's chicken sausage.
Yeah, everything. So when was the last time you guys ate pork?
Like 8-9 years ago.
Long time ago, right? And I mean, prior to that, we used to have like pork rinds, and we used to have
Pork rinds
pepperoni,
were so gross.
pepperoni pizza, hot dogs, all that stuff, and it's all unclean foods. And this is I don't want to get away from the Sabbath command, so I think we should get this ready to roll up here, guys. Is there a problem when we do not keep Shabbat? Can you feel this in a physical way?
Absolutely. When people work 7 days a week, there's no rest. They need to take a day off for rest, and this is the day Yah gave to us because He knew we needed this rest. And so when you rest on this day, you actually feel replenished and you're ready for the next day of work. But if you don't rest on that day, you will feel very tired and very incomplete.
Yeah, and you actually got to start keeping Shabbat to begin with to understand what that means. But once you miss it, then it becomes something that's a detriment to you versus not even knowing it. Prior to us keeping Shabbat, prior to keeping the Torah, we were 7 days a week. We spent a little time and we watched 40 minutes of a pastor on TV. We thought we were saved, and we weren't even keeping Shabbat on the right day. There was no such thing. So, guys, it's very important. It's very important to our Creator, and He says that we should be keeping this. So I hope you guys found something interesting in this. Gentlemen, do you guys have anything else?
Read your Bibles.
Now is a great time to start following the Shabbat, so if you guys get the chance, I would try to follow it as soon as possible.
Salvation begins where? Wait, does salvation begin with the Torah?
No, it begins at the cross.
Why? What does that mean?
Because Yehoshua is salvation.
Who's Yehoshua?
Jesus. You would call him Jesus, but that's not his name. That's a pagan name.
Why isn't that his name?
Because there was no J's in Hebrew, and he was a Hebrew man, so he would not have been her name Jesus, and that was a pagan name.
Yeah, and so J's weren't invented until the year 1524, and so the 1611 King James went from IESUS to JESUS, and that is where it begins. Okay, anyone have anything else?
Read your Bibles and try to get into Sabbath rest with our Creator.
Yep, Sabbath rest. All right, guys. Much love to everyone out there. We're out. Almost.